All right. I can go first. I'll share my screen. 20. All right. Yeah, so my thought process for this one, since we now can add a fermenter, I didn't see any reason why we wouldn't add one. That way we can keep up with the demand. So I added one as soon as I could. So we had five from April on out. And then I kind of just went through, started with Taj first, looked at my scenario 200, and I know we want to keep Taj's production relatively steady. So I kind of just matched up my scenario 200 and 220 for the first. Um, Makes me do that every time for some reason. Um, and I matched them up for the first 3 months. So January through March, it's pretty much the same. And then since we have more production capabilities, well, I also dropped the price in January through March. I was talking about production, but I dropped the price year round just because we can produce so much more and sell so much more. And then so I increased the production to 4,500, and then that seemed steady. I mean, obviously it got lowered towards the end of the year, but we were pretty consistently at 3,000, which is where we want to be for Taj. Alley Cat, I started it pretty high, like we normally do, trying to build up stock for the first 3 months, and then raised the price for April when we raised the production so much, just to try to carry the production a little further, and then raised it even further to 17 starting in May, and it stayed pretty good with the increased price along with the increased production. It was the most I was able to make from Alley Cat yet. So I raised it in the middle months and then dropped it down to 15 for the last 3 months. And then obviously production for Edgar is just whatever's left. And it was pretty low for the first 6 months. Like maybe, I think this is probably roughly one order per like go around. And then towards the end, we'll start throwing in more orders, trying to build up that stock. And then for the price, I moved it up to 15 just because I was getting lost sales if not because I was selling too quickly for and then that's when July I started to drop the price. And as the production increased, I dropped the price more and then I ended with 248,000 EBT.
Yeah, what you said about kind of going off of your scenario 200 and just kind of transferring a lot of that over to the 220. I did that as well, and I also heard a lot of people doing that. So I think that is probably going to be a winning strategy in this, you know. And then
Yeah.
also, I did it a little differently. Well, I'll show you again when I like pull my stuff up actually, but what's it called? For my fermenters, I didn't have them as five all the way through the year. I had five for partially through the year, but
Okay.
uh, I'll show you more when I pull that up in case James wants to say something first.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't even finish my.
You can put yours up.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a second. This is always hard. Um,
Share window or whatever if you have that.
yeah. Yeah, I see it. Um, Here, James, if you want to do yours first while I figure this out, you can do that.
I didn't even realize the deadline was like last. I didn't even finish it before, so it's like low key. I was trying though. Let me see. Uh, I didn't finish, but that's what I was saying.
All right, hold on. I'm opening Excel right now. It's saying that I'm having security and privacy issues on this, so this might give me
That's what it said to mine too.
scenario 220 Michael Fahey. You see it?
It's loading. Yes.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Let me make sure this is the right one. Yes, it is. All right. So I did very similar to what you did, Hagen. I ended up with a little bit less total EBT, I think. Probably because I only had 5 fermenters for the months of like March, April, June, and July. Because once capacity went back down, I just got rid of them. But I don't know. You had more than me, so maybe we should do what you did. And then, in addition to that, I kept my prices relatively gradual in their changes. I didn't really, when I was doing it, I didn't encounter much of a need to change them a ton. And a big thing, same with you, is kind of the production and the production changes and stuff like that, and how in the summer months, we got to really pump that up for Alley Cat, and then on the other hand for Taj, I kept it relatively the same for most of the year for Taj. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I did it very similar to you did, mostly because I think that's just like the way to do this type of stuff. So I think that 2 successful answers are going to look pretty similar. But yeah, I like your idea of keeping it at 5 fermenters throughout the entire year instead, just because that's probably easier.
Also with that, Wagner was saying in class that the fermenter, it's like they're like basically like they're gonna last forever type of deal where they're not gonna tear down very easily, and then it's a one-time purchase. Like, yeah, it costs more to produce more, but then like also we don't have to use all 5 fermenters at once. If we need to only run 2 or 3 or 4. So it's just kind of, since it's one-time purchase and there's no reason to bring it back down.
Yeah, no need to decommission it. I get what you're saying. That's probably right. I was just kind of looking at a way to where I could do it to get me over the 225 EBT, and that's all I needed to do for that. But if we can get more out of it, then we should do it.
Yep. Sounds good. All right.
Yep. Anything else?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think we just kind of look at the spreadsheet and we'll get an idea of how many orders per beer per month or per week. I mean, excuse me. Yeah. And we'll play it from there. Obviously, things in the simulation aren't exactly how the spreadsheets work out, but we got a good base.
Great.
All right.
Later,
guys.
Sounds good. See ya.